Welcome back to the Bro Country Podcast. My name is Joey, and I am joined by...
Hey man, it's Chris. What's going on over there tonight, Joey?
Man, not a whole lot. Just hanging out. What you been up to, man?
Just listening to country music and planning my next shows.
That's right. Watching some scary movies. It's spooky season.
It is spooky season. I've watched some movies that I haven't seen in a long time. Last year, because I think everybody was shut down and life had slowed way down, I watched a ton of scary movies. So
Yeah.
I haven't watched as many this year, but I'm trying to catch up on some stuff that I had not seen in a long time. What about you guys?
Same, man. We watched Nightmare on Elm Street last weekend.
Ooh.
And then the original. Then this past weekend, we just watched the new Halloween Kills, and it was all right. It was pretty good.
We saw that one too.
Yeah, not my favorite out of the whole saga, but it was pretty good.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, but to your point, I watched a crap ton of horror movies last Halloween season. And again, I think it's just the point of everybody was stuck at home. But, I mean, I watched every Scream movie last year.
I did too, except for 4. I've still never seen Scream 4.
Oh, man, it's a good one. Yeah, I watched that last year.
I'm pumped for the new one, though.
Oh, heck yeah, that's going to be sweet.
Yeah.
But yeah, just been hanging out, watching some scary movies, doing the Halloween stuff with the family, and listening to all this new country music that's been coming out, man.
Oh, man. Whew, we're getting near the end of the year, and I've been starting to do my year-end list here on my phone, and this... It seems like every year, you can always find some amazing stuff, but there has been some really good country music this year.
Yeah, a lot, in my opinion, way more than last year, and I don't know if that was just because of the pandemic or what, but there's been a ton of good music this year, man.
Yeah, last year I feel like Stapleton's album was by far the best album of the year, and then there's like 4 or 5 or 6 albums that have been killer this year.
Yeah, most definitely. Which we'll talk about those probably in December sometime.
Absolutely,
I'm sure. Aldean's got a new album coming out. It's a double album, right?
Yeah. I mean, everybody's calling everything a double album these days.
Everything.
I think the first part is 10 songs plus 5 live tracks.
Yeah, of old songs, but they're like live tracks, so it's kind of interesting approach. I haven't seen that yet with these double albums everybody's been doing.
No, but I'll tell you what about Aldean. My God, he knows how to drop a hit. I mean, every time that I think that he's kind of slowing down a little bit, he comes out with something that just flies up the charts. I mean, he knows what he's doing.
He puts on a good show too. I mean,
he does. We've both seen him recently.
Oh yeah. Gosh, I don't even know how many times I've seen Aldean. I would want to say around 10 in my life, 8 to 10 probably.
Absolutely.
And he always just hit after hit after hit.
Yeah, it doesn't slow down.
For sure. But man, the music world's been pretty cool lately. The CMT award, the CMT Artist of the Year award was last week, and
yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah, that was awesome. Randy Travis got the Artist of a Lifetime award, and was presented by Garth Brooks, so that was pretty cool.
He did a good job, and then today or yesterday, Randy kind of put something on Facebook or on socials about Garth.
Yeah, it was a really big, nice post that they put on Randy's social media about Garth and how they've always just kind of had a relationship since Garth hit the scene and everything and took off.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Garth has always, for as long as I can remember, he has always preached, how much he loved Randy Travis, and their music. I mean, now when you look back, Garth's music is really country, but at the time it wasn't. So at the time, Randy was about as traditional as you could get, and Garth was about as contemporary as you could get. But Garth has always loved Randy Travis.
It's awesome. That's a good little relationship there. So,
and I mean, from looking at the show and stuff, it seems like Randy's doing better. I mean, he was walking up on stage, he said a few words, and I mean, Kane Brown performed 3 wooden crosses, and Randy seemed to be smiling, having a good time.
It's good to see him, on the up and up, so to speak, anyway, compared to where he was. I mean, he's moving, he's recognizing things. His speech is, obviously it's not where it was. Like his wife mentioned, may have lost the voice, but you didn't lose the heart or the man.
That's right, man. And thank God Randy lived long enough that he's finally getting the due that he deserved. Because man, what a voice and what a legend.
Yeah, absolutely. And he does a lot of these connections with like these young artists too. You see it all over TikTok where he's like doing videos with these young up and coming artists and
Drew Parker and Luke and
he went to
Kane
Drew's show,
and Chris Young and
oh yeah. Yeah, so I think that's pretty cool, and that it makes me question, like, do you think that has a little bit to do with why he's still so or getting the recognition he rightfully deserves now because of the power of social media and all these young artists opening him up to a younger generation as well?
I mean, yeah, probably a little bit, but I mean, Randy, he just
Freaking
with
icon.
everything that he went through in the last 5 or 6 years, and then just the young artist would not be doing that if Randy wasn't so amazing and didn't have such amazing songs.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, we talked about this the other day. He's definitely like for both of us, top 3 voice of all time.
Oh yeah,
If
absolutely.
not top. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to pick a top voice of all time, but I mean, I would definitely put him in my top 3. But yeah, so that award show was awesome to see. Morgan Wallen, man, he's booking shows for next year, ain't he?
Oh well, this year.
This year too.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's
festivals next year.
Yeah. He's back in a big way.
Arkansas, he's doing 2 nights out there in Little Rock.
Yeah, I think he's headlining all 4 of the Country Thunder shows next year.
Yeah. Coming to Ohio, Fort Laramie Country Concert in July, so that'll be sweet.
He's coming to both Ohio festivals, right?
Yeah. Country Fest and Country Concert, so he's doing both of them. Country Fest is in June, the end of June, and then Country Concert, I believe, is July 7th, 8th, and 9th. So
oof, that lineup is killer, isn't it?
Oh, man. Both of them. It was really hard to pick. I'm like, I know I can't do both. I can't, unfortunately, I just don't have the time off work or the babysitting time for my child to do all that, but I definitely am probably going to make it to Country Concert because we went this past year and had a heck of a time.
I'll be there on Friday for COJO and Brooks and Dunn for sure, and I'll probably be there Saturday for Morgan too.
That's going to be a heck of a weekend, man.
It is.
For sure. But yeah, he's booking shows up. That's good to see him kind of back into the swing of things. And I saw that Luke Bryan is actually set to host the CMAs this year.
By himself, right?
Yeah, that's what I heard. I'm pretty sure it's by himself. That'll be interesting.
Luke can do anything. And everybody, what a personality that Luke has. And, I mean, everybody loves Luke. Whether you like his music or not, Luke is the man. I mean, he is so, what's the word, man? We've talked about it, but, I mean, the life he's had.
Driven,
humble,
passionate.
Thankful, passionate.
A lot of characteristic traits you could put on Luke Bryan. And you can say what you want about his music. It's pop country. It's not real country. It's whatever. We've all said it. We've all thought it at times, depending on the song that he puts out. But the adversity that he's overcame in his life and still has such a humbleness and happiness is just incredible and very respectable about him.
Absolutely, man. I mean, he hosted with Blake for years, and then he hosted with Dirks one year.
He's fun, too.
Yeah, they made a good choice here.
Did you, speaking of Luke and just being like fun and goofy, but did you see that video that was going around on TikTok and social media where he jumped off the stage to knock over the smoke machine, and his stage manager jumped off too and accidentally kicked him in the back of the head?
I don't know if I saw the full clip or not.
Dude, you have to look that up. It was hilarious because the smoke machine was like bothering Luke, so he went to jump off the stage and like basically knock it over so it would get out of his face, And the stage manager like saw that and tried to, I don't know, you have to look it up, but it's hard to explain into words how it happened. But basically the stage manager went to jump down to knock it over and basically wound up kicking Luke in the back of the head. It was just, I don't know, man, it's funny. He gets rowdy at his shows for sure. But yeah, on to the bulk of this episode. If you guys didn't notice by the title, we're going to be talking about Cody Johnson's latest project, Human, the double album.
Here we go, man. I mean, we've mentioned Cody a lot, but this is the first episode that we really delved deep into Cody, right?
Yeah, we haven't really covered like a full project of Cody's. Obviously, we've talked about him, talked about some of the songs we like, and I believe you've even mentioned when you went to see him live and everything, but I don't think we've done a COJO episode, so this is our first official Cody Johnson episode.
I mean, I think it's safe to say we both love Cody. He's definitely in our top, 5 or 6 right now. So I mean, this is going to be a good one.
Absolutely, man. So basically what we've got planned for this episode, guys, we're going to just basically give a little recap on COJO's background and some information we looked up. And then we're going to talk about the new project that just came out this month and rank our top 5 songs that we like off the album. So we'll go ahead and dive into it, man.
Yeah, tell us about COJO.
Yeah, and this is all information I just looked up online, found through various websites, Wikipedia, stuff like that. So this is just some of the fun facts that I found about Cody that I thought were pretty cool and just about his upbringing and everything. But He was born and raised in East Texas, and when he was young, he really got interested in being an actor. And later, it said that he gave up on his childhood dream of becoming an actor because he didn't believe he was good enough to make it in the tough, big screen scene, which I thought was pretty funny because I saw a Q&A he did with CMT about the music video for Till You Can't.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how he wanted to, like, I forget the exact dialogue, but basically how he wanted to just kind of stand there and mouth the words and not really do any acting or anything because he was camera shy. And I'm like, that's so funny that he didn't want to act as a kid because he didn't think he could make it, and he's now acting in music videos.
And that's a freaking killer music video.
Oh, it's so good.
It's
so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, he started writing songs in junior high after his teacher suggested that he started a band, and he started really getting into music, and graduated high school in '05 and attended Angelina College for just a short time, and then he decided to chase music as his full-time career. And then in '06, he formed the Cody Johnson band with his dad Carl and his drummer Nathan Reedy, and together they recorded an album. It was Black and White label.
Yep.
And then in '06, they added a lead guitar player, Matt Rogers, and recorded a live album, which was called Live and Rocking.
Yes, Matt I think he's probably got 2 or 3 writing credits on this album, and he's a killer writer.
He is, absolutely. And then after the release of that live album, which was recorded at Shenanigans and Confetti's Club in Huntsville, his dad left the band.
I'd like to know the story.
I couldn't find any I couldn't really find anything as to why that happened. I couldn't figure it out, but for whatever reason, his dad left the band. Whatever. Hopefully,
that's right.
I'm sure there was no bad feelings there. Just probably was a life-changing thing, and Dad didn't want to go into it. I don't know. We may never know.
That's right.
But then they put out their first professionally produced album called Six Strings, One Dream. That was in '07. And 3 singles from that album reached the top 10 of the Texas music charts.
That's awesome.
Yeah, pretty cool. And Cody's always been huge in Texas. Even before he hit the quote mainstream Nashville scene, he has had which we'll talk about that in a minute, but always been huge in Texas. And his next album he put out, A Different Day, was released in 2011 and produced by Trent Willman. And that same year, he won the Texas Regional Music Award for New Male Vocalist of the Year. And then after he won the award and kind of got his name out there, he quit his day job with the Texas Department of Criminal Justice to focus on music full-time officially. And in 2012, he teamed up with Kyle Park for the Dancing and Drinking at Johnson Park tour. Then, fast forward to 2014, he put out his 5th album, Cowboy Like Me.
Yeah, I think this is probably when Nashville started to take notice of Cody, right here.
Yeah, right around this time, I think so, yeah. And that album was the second one produced by Trent, and it sold 8,000 copies in the first week of the release, debuted at number 25 on the Billboard Top Country Albums chart, and number 3 on the Billboard 200. Now, keep in mind, all these have been put out independently, no major label, nothing like that.
Yeah, I mean,
that's pretty big. That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big deal, and there was definitely nobody else at that time, or really now, that was doing that out of country. I mean, out of Texas. Mm-hmm. I mean, Aaron Watson was doing a little bit of that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
but it was pretty much Aaron Watson and Cody coming out of Texas that was able to do that.
For sure. And then in 2016, he released his 6th album, Gotta Be Me. And that album debuted at number 11 on the Billboard 200 and at number 2 on the Top Country Albums chart. And it sold 23,000 copies in the U.S. in the first week.
Gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's
without a major label.
Yep, and it was his most successful release yet, without any major label support or widespread radio play. And then
this next fact is, I guarantee you that if you asked Cody what the highlight of his career has been up to this point, I would say that this next tidbit's probably the biggest moment of his career.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The next thing was in 2019, he made Houston livestock show and rodeo history by becoming the first unsigned independent artist to play a sold-out crowd.
Yeah, I mean,
that's huge.
For people that don't know, the Houston Rodeo is like a 3-week-long event that they do a concert each night, and it's in an NFL stadium. So you're talking. Yeah. You're talking somewhere between 60 and 70,000 people, and Cody was able to sell that out.
Freaking amazing, dude.
Yeah.
And I mean, he grew up loving the rodeo and doing the rodeo stuff, and So I mean, that's got to be a awesome personal achievement. Like you said, that has to be one of his top moments of his career so far.
Absolutely. I mean, he probably went to the Houston rodeo growing up, and to think that he got to play a sold out show there is pretty amazing.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then comes 2019 again, where he signs with Warner Brother Records, puts out his 7th album, Ain't Nothing to It, which was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
And included the single On My Way to You, which is his first top 40 hit on country airplay. And also in 2019, he collabed with Brooks and Dunn on their reboot album for Red Dirt Road.
Oh, so good.
And yeah, so I mean, that's just kind of some background. I mean, the guy put out 6 independent albums, built a huge brand and name for himself, dabbled into the Nashville scene, and has just recently put out his second album under a major label. And I mean, I still don't think, I mean, they have been, I feel like Apple, Spotify, Amazon have been promoting the heck out of this album here lately.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, he has not had the major push of radio that a lot of these guys and gals get,
No, he has not. You and I spend hours talking about this. I mean, some of our favorite people right now are people that are not getting huge radio hits, and Cody's at the top of that line. I mean,
sure.
at the beginning of the show there, you were talking about the lineups for some of the festivals this year, and I mean, the one festival that you are definitely going to, and I'm going to be there that night, is Brooks and Dunn, who's one of the biggest '90s acts of all time, and the act right before them is COJO, and COJO's had one radio hit, and there'll be 25,000, 30,000 people there, and most of those people are going to know all the songs because he has such a passionate fan base. I mean, it's wild.
It's amazing, man, to see that. Yeah. What is killing me, dude, speaking of these festivals, we're both in a Facebook group that we will not name here, but that is geared towards a major festival in the United States, and they are all just pissed off that Cody Johnson got an 8 o'clock spot. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I wouldn't say everybody, but like, there's like a bunch of people complaining like, he has no hits, I've never heard of him. And I keep trolling. I'm like, well, he just dropped a double album. Go check it out and let me know what you think next week. I'm sure you'll like it.
Right, yeah. I mean, I guarantee you that after I've been lucky enough to see him live 3 times now, and it is like seeing Garth on a smaller scale, obviously, but he has more energy and more passion live than anybody that's performing country music right now. And I mean, it is, you just wait. I mean, it is a wild
I haven't got to see him yet. I've been supposed to have seen him 2 or 3 times, and unfortunate circumstances happen every single time where he had to take the vocal rest the one time, and then
he was supposed to be there last year.
Yeah, he was supposed to be at the festival last year, and Ashley McBride filled in because he had to be on the vocal rest. And the other show I was going to see when he opened up for Luke Combs, and that was in 2019, I believe.
Yeah,
in the fall.
Yeah, those outdoor shows that he opened for Luke.
Yeah, and I had to sell my tickets because something came up and I couldn't go, and I think that was it as far as when I was supposed to see Cody. There may have been another time, but I can't remember. But so yeah, I'm stoked. I've seen a bunch of like videos that circulate on social media about his live shows and YouTube videos, and I'm like, man, this is gonna be incredible. It's gonna be worth it.
I mean, it's crazy. I was looking earlier, just in the last 2 weeks since Human came out, his Spotify listeners have gone from like 3.1 million to 4.3 million. So getting added to those playlists has definitely helped him. But I mean, his music is it's so different than anything that's out right now that's on the radio. I mean, it's not overproduced. No. You can hear every instrument. You can hear the steel guitar and fiddle and steel in every single song. They don't mess with his voice. I mean, it is as straight country as you can possibly imagine.
Yeah, it's as, I think we've even said this before on the show, it's as traditional as country as you're probably going to get in the mainstream.
Yeah, and he's not going to change. I mean,
he does it his own way. He does what he wants. He's very outspoken about his beliefs. He's just very authentic, and I think that is a huge factor as to why so many people gravitate towards him.
Yeah,
because he's
absolutely,
real
man.
and it's country, you know. And
Yeah.
I was honestly shocked in a couple of the Facebook groups about, you know, surrounding Cody's fandom. There were a lot of people that were crapping on the album, and I'm like, are you crazy? I'm like, this is one of the best albums of the year, you know.
Oh
And
yeah, yeah.
easily.
People just want an artist to just keep making the same stuff over and over and over. You know what I mean? There might not be quite as many rowdy songs on this album as some of
Yeah.
his past albums, but there's still a couple, you know, honky tonkers and
Oh, yeah.
I mean I mean the music is amazing. I mean Cody is a 34-year-old father and a husband and a man. You know what I mean? Like he's making the music that he wants to make for who he is today. You know?
It was a very mature album. I felt like. I think
Yeah, absolutely, very, very mature. I mean,
very. There's a lot of sentimental moments on the album. A lot of sad moments. A lot of happy love moments. I mean, you have like a hymnal type song on this project. Like, I mean, this is just
very religious.
Yeah, very diverse project. I thought it was. I mean, I'm giving it like a solid 5 out of 5 for me. I mean, I'm biased. Obviously, I'm a huge COJO fan, but I mean, if I'm ranking the total project 5, you know, out of 5, it's a 5 out of 5 for me. I thought this was very well crafted.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you mentioned,
18 tracks. They're all different, and I mean, I just don't know how you could. I just don't know what else you would have expected from somebody like COJO. I mean, I don't know how you make a better album than this.
Ever since I started talking about it, I've been, you know, and dropping little songs here and there. I've been anticipating the full thing for a while, and I'm like, you know, I thought it lived up to the hype for me anyway, personally.
Yeah, and you know, the charts came out today, and it debuted at number 3 on the country chart behind Luke and Morgan, which, you know, I mean, I don't know how you, I just don't know how you jump over those two albums right now. I mean,
gosh, that's crazy.
So I mean,
still at the top.
For me, the big news is that "Till You Can't" is the lead single. And we'll get into that. We'll get into that here in a little bit. But it jumped from 60 to 55 to 49 in 2 weeks. So it's still low on the chart, but it's climbing. And radio has not really jumped on the Cody train. So I'm thinking this one has a big chance. But it also debuted at number 94 on the all genre Hot 100, and it's only the second song he's ever had on the Hot 100. So
it's awesome.
It's got. I think it has 11 million streams on Spotify already. So the fan base loves it. You know, when we saw him live about a month ago now, it played like a number 1 song. I mean, people went crazy for. It's an amazing song. We'll get to that here in a little bit.
Yeah, for sure, man. So what? If you had to rank this album on a scale of 5, what do you think you'd give it overall?
Oh, I mean, it's a 5 out of 5, and it's definitely one of the 3 best albums of the year.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm going to put it at 1 or 2 or 3. I don't know. We'll figure that out here
definitely
at the end of the
3,
year. But it's definitely top 3. I mean, it's
absolutely.
I don't know, man.
Couldn't agree
The other
more,
good the thing I liked about it. One thing I liked about it is he teased the songs. You know, he played the game like everybody does in Nashville now, dropping a couple songs. But he gave us 2 a month.
Yeah.
So it was like not just 1 song at a time, and he gave you 2, and then he gave you 2 more, and it was like. I don't know. I just felt like he did it. He did it in a good way. And then when the album came out, there were still 10 more songs that you got. So I like the way he did it.
And I love this artist so very much. Everybody knows that listens to the show. Eric Church. I love Eric, but I hated how they put out so much of that quote triple album before the release. Man, that was just like, oh man, I hated that.
Yeah,
and it was so un-Eric like to do something like that. I feel like, you know. Which I love that album. Don't get me wrong. I love Eric Church, but
oh yeah,
and everybody's doing it. It's not just him. I mean, everybody's putting out a single, and then here's the album with 4 unheard songs. You know.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
You're right. Everybody's doing it, but
it's the world we live in, man.
I don't know. I like the way that Cody did it a little bit better.
Yeah, definitely. So, man, do you remember when you first discovered Cody Johnson? Or like when you heard of him or heard his music?
Honestly, I think that the first time that I ever heard his name was when "Gotta Be Me" debuted on Billboard. Because I was thinking, you know, I'm kind of a chart freak, so I check it every single week, and you know, I was like, who is this guy that's debuting with 23,000 copies, and I've never heard of him before, you know. And so that was, you know, 5 or 6 years ago. I mean, he was already a huge star in Texas, but You know, and there's all kinds of, especially then. I feel like now, if you're huge in Texas, like the names get out and everybody kind of knows who, you know, Co Wetzel and Parker and, you know, these guys that have came out of Texas. But 5 or 6 years ago, you know, there was a lot of good music in Texas that people did not know about. So I think that was probably the first time that I heard of COJO. I'm trying to think the first song of COJO's that I think "Wild as You" was probably the first Cody song that I ever heard.
"Wild as You," that's such a good one, man.
It is a good. What about you? When did you first hear about him?
Gosh, I just remember. I can't remember how I heard about him or what I heard. I just remember hearing "With You I Am" somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it was on a playlist or if it was something that like I bought on iTunes at the time. I don't remember how I heard it, but I just remember hearing that song. And I love that one. I love that. It was probably around like 2016 or 17 when I had heard it. I wasn't obviously an early COJO fan by any means. I won't try to act like I was. And I really didn't start closely following him until probably like 2018 or 19, to be blunt about it, and right before he signed with Warner, and that album was incredible. Then I kind of dove deeper into his old discography, and I'm like, holy crap, this dude is just like, what? I'm like, he's new to Nashville. What do you mean? He's got like 6 albums out already? Like, what?
It's crazy, man. I'm sitting here looking at his Spotify, and "On My Way to You" is the only big radio platinum hit he's had, and it's not even in his top 5 songs.
No, it's not. Think
about how big of a passionate fan base he has for the only hit that he's had on national radio to not even be one of his 5 most popular songs.
Yeah, what are they? "Diamond in My Pocket."
"Diamond in My Pocket" kind of stays up there. "Me and My Kind," which is a freaking amazing song. "With You I Am," like you said. "Till You Can't," and "Welcome to the Show."
Oh God, that's a jam.
It is a jam. That was kind of his tribute to the Houston radio.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the first song I remember hearing. I would say it was probably like 2017 when I first heard that. And then really started following in 2018. But
I remember the first time I heard Cody, I was thinking, because we're so, like, listening to current country music, we're so used to, like, really loud vocals, really loud instruments, like them using auto-tune and, like, really, like, magnifying the music. And Cody's music, especially those love songs, are so just, like, calm and like nothing like what you would hear on radio today. And I think like it took me a while to really like really appreciate how good his voice is and how much emotion he puts in the music because it's so different than most of the stuff that we hear now.
Absolutely, man. I agree with you. Let's get in this top 5, man. I'm anxious to hear what you've got. So I know you and I usually have similar tastes, so I'm anxious to see if we have any of the similar or same songs here, but
oh man,
I'll kick it off. We'll go 5 to 1. So we'll do our top 5, lowest to highest, like we always do. But number 5, and this may come as a surprise to you. I don't know. I've got "Son of a Ramblin' Man."
Oh, I love it, man.
It's a jam.
I love that song. It is a jam.
Love that one, man.
Why'd you put that one there?
I mean, I'm a sucker for the heartbreak, sappy, sad stuff, but I will like a nice rock out song every once in a while. And I just like the message behind it. I think it's fun. I think it's a really upbeat track, and I have caught myself listening to that one over and over, so had to put it in there.
That's awesome, man. I love that one too.
What'd you have at 5?
I've got 2 written down here at 5, but I'll save one for the honorable mention. So at number 5, I have "Honky Tonk Hardwood Floor." Oh,
that's another good one. Jam.
That's a straight Texas jam, man. Put me at Billy Bob's with some sawdust on the floor and COJO on the stage, and that's what I want him playing. I just want those honky tonk songs, man.
Man, that'd be awesome. That's a good one. It would be,
wouldn't it?
Heck yeah. Number 4, I've got "Made a Home."
Oh,
because I think that is just like super like lovey-dovey but good, where it's a really good love song about how he built the house but his wife made it a home by living in it and dancing down the hallway, and
that's just what country music is, man.
Yeah, it's
like we have forgotten about that, like these kind of songs, like
storytelling. It's really good.
Family, life, love,
the real stuff. Yeah,
the real stuff.
instead of tailgates and bonfires, you know. Now, which that's cool
That's
too.
right.
You know,
It is. You just gotta
I'm
have
all
it.
about
You
a
gotta have
bonfire and
both.
tailgate. Don't get me wrong now. But yeah, that's what I had at number 4, man. What about you?
I think I've probably got one of your favorites at number 4. I always wanted to at number 4.
Man, that one is like, when I first heard that, dude, I had to like turn it. It was that is one of the saddest songs I've ever heard, dude.
It is, man. God, it's so good though.
Amazing. That's why I've got number 3. I've always wanted to.
There you go. Amazing song.
Yeah. It's you know, I read an article that he said that was the saddest song he's ever heard when it was, because I don't think he wrote on it. I think it was pitched to him. I forget who wrote on it, but we talked about it, didn't we? I can't remember who it was, though. Gosh. I don't remember. Do you?
Yeah, it was the people that wrote House That Built Me by Miranda, right?
Yeah, the co-writers on that one.
Alan Shamblin and Tom Douglas.
Yeah, yep, there you go. I was gonna say, I can't remember. I didn't write it in my notes here, but yeah. So the amazing writers, you know, and they wrote this song from the perspective of an older man who's 95 or something like that, and
yeah.
Like in a nursing home, it sounds like it gives you that vibe, and they're taking his keys from him, telling him he can't drive, and you know, they're talking about him and wishing that he would just pass away because they have to keep changing his sheets and all this stuff. They're annoyed with him, and dude, that was just like, I don't know, it reminded me of my grandma because she had dementia really bad, and it just makes you, like, that connection was just like, whew, overwhelming for me. I'm like, I gotta turn this off for a minute.
Yeah.
But
I mean, when they're
so
talking
good.
about like all like the stuff that he always wanted that he never got, oh man,
Ooh,
it's tough, man.
Dude, for sure. And he's like, I always wanted a son, I always wanted a woodshed, and all these little things. But yeah, that was, and the vocal on it, the instrumentation is top notch.
It is.
Cody had the perfect voice for that tune, man. It's just incredible.
Yeah, I mean, so many of the people that you and I love in country music, like when they put songs out, it's like no one else could have done this. You know what I mean? Like most of the songs on this record, there's literally no one else in Nashville that could have sang these songs. Like, you know, like, and that's why somebody like Tom Douglas and Alan Shamblin is sending a song to Cody because he's the guy to sing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What'd you have at number 3, man?
Number 3, I've got one that you already had, Son of a Rambling Man.
It's a
love
jam,
it, man.
Dude. I love
it's a freaking jam. It is awesome. He's a freaking rascal in this song, and he's just living life and going out and just going crazy. Man, it's just awesome. It's a Vince Gill cover. Vince wrote it.
Yeah.
And I mean it fits Cody, and it's definitely one of the more like kind of rocking songs on the album.
For sure, absolutely, man.
Yep.
Top 2, man.
Here we go. Are we gonna have the same 2?
I think we might, man.
We might.
Number 2, I've got Human.
Oh, me too, man.
Dude, that is. I know we're on the same number 1. I already know it.
Oh my god, dude.
But dude, yeah,
these two. I mean,
these are
all of these
songs, man.
Yeah, this is amazing.
Human is, he's singing about how basically he's just a guy making mistakes and he's still learning to be human, and I think that is so true to all of us as human beings, that we're gonna screw up, we're gonna make mistakes in life. We're just trying to be human, and that just. That has to resonate with anybody that hears it. I mean, it's real life. And, such a good freaking song, dude. I love that it's the title track. I mean, the album was named Human. I think it just very well. And I think it kind of is a good overall theme to this album, too.
It is. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's the opening track, too. So it hits you as soon as you start the record.
Yeah, yep. And number 1, I think it's safe to say we both had Till You Can't.
Till You Can't, man.
I would be shocked if you didn't have that at number 1, because we've talked about this song since we first heard it.
Oh my god, it's. I mean, it might be the song of the year.
I mean, spoiling this now, and something really good would have to come out for me to change it. This is gonna be my top song of the year for me. It has to be. I mean, there's been a lot of good music this year. I mean, Thomas Rhett's put out some good music. Morgan Wallen's put out a hell of a lot of good music. I mean, Carly Pierce.
Yeah.
Chris Young put out a couple good hits on his album. I mean, there's so many good songs that came out this year, but this is like the best song of the year for me. I'll go ahead and title that now. But
I mean, this song is amazing. He has so much emotion and just like you feel everything he says in this song.
Oh,
I mean,
gosh,
it's amazing, man. It's kind of a mixture of I Always Wanted To and Human, and it's a real just like, do it now. Don't wait.
Yeah.
It's a real just like, look at me and listen to me, and this is what life is about kind of song. Like it's
Take that phone call from your mama.
yeah.
Go fishing with your pops until you can't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
That's
just
right, man.
a good message for how you should live your life. Just do those things. Go hang out with your grandpa and fix up that car, because one day you're not going to be able to.
Oh,
So just do those things
Lord,
that you that may seem like an inconvenience in the moment, or something that you don't want to make the time for, but one day you'll wish that you could. So I think that's
it's amazing.
a huge message to everybody. I mean, this album was full of like great themes, overall themes, and messages on how you should live your life. I mean, truly. But yeah, dude, that was definitely a 30 out of 10 for me on that song. And I've been talking about it ever since it came out. So if you guys have listened to the show before, it should be no surprise to you. But so that's what I had my number one, man. Honorable mentions, I just had a couple I put down here.
Yeah, what you got down there?
I'll just run through them. I've got 3. I put Known for Loving You.
Good one.
Sad Songs and Waltzes with Willie. I thought that was awesome.
It's so cool that he got to record with Willie.
Willie's an icon, and he sounds great on it too.
Texas icon.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I had one from your top 5, which was either going to be Son of a Ramblin' Man at number 5 or this one, but Honky Tonk Hardwood Floors. That one is just...
It's awesome, man. It's fun.
That's like a jam, dude. Can't wait to hear that one live. I hope he plays it. But that's what I had, man, in my honorables. What about you?
Well, let's see. I Don't Know a Thing About Love.
Ooh.
And then Stronger.
Stronger, yeah.
He played both of those last month, and Stronger has got a really like driving beat to it, and it was awesome live. So I think that's definitely why I had it kind of up there. It didn't quite make my top 5, but it's a great song.
Stronger. No.
That's right, man. This is a strong album, man.
Dude, yeah, this is a. It definitely lived up to the hype for me. I hope it does well overall for him, and I hope a ton of hits come off this, because he deserves the recognition. And I hate people commenting on Facebook posts that he doesn't deserve the 8 p.m. spot and that they don't know who he is and he doesn't have any hits.
I mean,
which that's not always important, I'm sure he doesn't really care, because he, I watched an interview that he did. Grady was talking about it on that one video, like Too Country for Radio. Do you remember that? Probably about a couple months ago. And he was like, well, radio's not going to play it anyway. Let's just put it out. And I think was it Dear Rodeo they were talking about? I can't remember. It was something that his team and him were trying to come up with the next radio single, and he's like, they aren't going to play it anyway, so let's just go ahead and put out what we want to put out. And I just, that's awesome that he cares, obviously, I'm sure, but he doesn't care. He just wants to be authentic and be himself. So I think that's freaking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, they say that, but they clearly picked the song off this record that has the best chance to be a huge smash. I mean, this... Yeah. If Till You Can't is not a top 10 radio single for Cody, then he's never going to have another top 10 radio single, because
I'll be shocked.
Everybody can relate to this song. It's got an amazing driving kind of forcefulness to it, and it has a really good chance to be his signature song. So if radio doesn't get behind the song, I don't know. I mean, I don't know, man.
Oh, dude, now I get it 100%, and I don't know, man. The whole song is just amazing, and then the key change at the end is just freaking awesome.
Yep, I agree.
But yeah, man, that's our top 5. So I think we had a pretty solid top 5 there. I think we both did. Honorable mentions were great. So if you guys haven't taken the time to go listen to this album, definitely go check it out. You will not regret it. Comment on our social media. Let us know what you think. I'm sure most of the feedback should be positive, but... That's right, definitely let us know. And speaking of social media, you guys go follow us. We're all over the internet. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram, Facebook. I don't know, Google, Apple Podcasts. We're all over. You can find us everywhere. Just search Bro Country Pod and you'll find us. Follow us. Be our friend. Do all that cool stuff. If you like the show, if you don't like the show, leave us a review. Give us a rating on Apple. We would so appreciate that. But yeah, man, that's really all I've got. Do you have anything else you want to talk about tonight?
I think that's probably about it. We're going to jump into probably CMAs next week.
Yeah, I think the next episode, we're going to do a little CMA prediction like we do for most award shows. And we are supposed to have a returning guest on for that episode. So we'll see. Hopefully our schedules will coordinate appropriately and we will have that person back on the show.
That's right, man.
But yeah, I think that's going to do it, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Chris, my man, it was a pleasure as always. And until next time, keep it country and take care of each other.